Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back. This is my second video of today and I'm going to be talking about Marvel Studios What If episode 2. But before I do so, let me make this cry once again. I'm sure you may have seen the video from earlier. Please go and subscribe to Headless YouTuber's channel. He's had to redo a second, he has a second one. I can't even speak right. But he has a second channel. He's actually posted a video explaining the events of today and what's going on in the last couple of hours regarding his original channel. But please do subscribe to this new channel. I have left a link in the description for you below, and that's the video popping up there, so go see it after or at this point of the video whenever you decide to. But let's talk about Marvel Studios What If episode 2. So this episode reimagines the events of Guardians of the Galaxy from 2014, only this time it's what if T'Challa became Star-Lord. This episode is dedicated to Chadwick Boseman, who we lost about a year ago. I think on Saturday would be his 1 year anniversary, to the day, not the date. But we miss you, buddy. And yeah, so this episode really centers on that. So if you remember me talking about the very first episode of What If, you did remember me saying that there's one particular event that usually causes a variation in what we've known to be the general Marvel Cinematic Universe timeline. So whereas with the first episode where Peggy Carter refuses to go up to the deck to watch Steve Rogers become Captain America, with this episode it's a pretty funny outcome. So we do know from the movies that Ego the Living Planet tasked Yondu to go ahead and find Peter Quill on Earth, being his biological son. But this time Yondu decides to outsource this job he's been given by Ego to Kraglin and Taserface, and they end up capturing T'Challa from Wakanda. So this does tell me that really did happen in the main Marvel Cinematic Universe timeline. The only difference being, because of this outsourcing, T'Challa ended up being right place in the wrong time. I like how even though the characters are different, a lot of things we see are very familiar, and a lot of the story is very familiar too. Now, there are certain elements from the Guardians of the Galaxy movie that did show up. Like, you see when they were going to go to certain planets and how there would be coordinates in the very first Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and even the second one, there would be a similar thing with this particular episode. And I really like that aesthetic choice they had. Some of the characters we know from Guardians of the Galaxy are missing, but it kind of makes sense because, of course, there are different characters in sort of similar situations that we are familiar with. Now, I need to mention this. A lot of the story takes place in 2008. Now, for some of you that are really heavy Marvel nerds, you might go like, oh, but the events of Guardians of the Galaxy happened in 2014. And don't worry, it's a different story, sort of, with different characters. So timelines are going to be adjusted just a little bit. So as long as you understand that, it won't really mess with you. That story is that story. This story is a different story. If you watch the opening credits, you might catch a few names that would really make you go like, oh my god. And one character shows up, and I don't want to spoil it, but he is probably one of the most dominant villains we've seen in recent Marvel Studios history. I pretty much gave it away. But yeah, he shows up in a very jarring capacity, and it's like, what happened to you, bro? But this is a different take on the same character that we all came to know and unfortunately love. And I really like that they took this route with this particular character and all the things they did. I really like this episode. You guys will not be disappointed at all. Now, seeing that T'Challa becomes Star-Lord, there is a bit of a tease that's set up at the end of this episode, and it deals with Ego and Peter Quill. Apparently that's going to be another story for another day. We might see that in season 2 because there are other stories to tell. Like next week's episode is going to be on Loki, and I think it's going to be more of if Loki actually had conquered Earth in 2012 with the Avengers. But yeah, we'll stick around for that story. Thanks so much for watching this video. I've come to the end. Please subscribe to this channel. Please go and subscribe to Headless YouTube. Again, I'm saying this one more time. We need to get him back on his feet. I have so much respect for him. I watched the video he posted, and even though, you know, it's such a hard time, but he finds a way to be funny and make light about of the whole situation. I have massive respect for you, bro. You will get back on your feet. We did give you that gang for life, you understand? Anyway, I will see you in the next video. Till then, take care. Peace. I've been your dark man. I'm out.